Maybe that's my hacker.
Okay, Rosanna, you can start.
Welcome. The June 2nd meeting of the Thousand Oaks Council on Aging is called to order. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the
of the
United
United
States.
States of America and to the republic
for
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now have the roll taken by Staff Liaison Francine Spriegel.
Please say here present when I call your name. Chair Guerra,
Here.
Vice Chair Belding,
Here.
Commissioner Burt. Commissioner Burt, I believe is still here.
He's
Muted.
muted, but he is-
He's
Commissioner Janelle,
Here.
Commissioner Lowndes is absent. Commissioner Posta,
Here.
Commissioner Sylvester,
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Oh,
Commissioner Williams.
Muted.
Here. Okay, thank you.
Francine, I don't know if you heard me, but I am here, obviously.
I did, thank you.
Item 4 on our agenda is public comments. This is a time in our meeting when we invite members of the public to state their concerns about senior-related issues in our city or to present items for commission consideration. Speakers have 3 minutes. You will be asked to state your name and the city in which you reside, and I believe at this point we do not have any speaker comments. So we're going to move on to item 5 on our agenda, who is Matt Kuba from the Conejo Recreation and Parks District. And just a little bit about Matt. He started his career in the Parks and Recreation, volunteering at the Nature Center in Pasadena, and has worked as a wildland firefighter with the Forest Service in natural area management with the Los Angeles County and the city of Malibu and the Recreation Department. Matt is currently the park superintendent with CRPD. Previously, he worked at Conejo Community Center and Dos Vientos Community Center, both really beautiful. If you guys have ever been there, they're both beautiful centers. Matt started his career with CRPD and COSCA as a park ranger, building and maintaining trails in open space. Over the years, he has used his expertise in trails to help design many of the urban park walking paths through the district, including the new Sapui Trails Park, which is very close to where I live. And thank you so much for doing that. It's a beautiful, beautiful park. Welcome, Matt Kuba, and we are so excited about hearing about everything that you can tell us about CRPD.
Well, all I'm talking about is walking trails because CRPD
Yes,
a couple
yes.
of hours to talk about. we can do more later. But thanks for the introduction. I am Matt Kuba. A little bit more about me. I started walking when I was around 2, so I've got lots of experience. So I feel qualified to talk about walking. We're going to go through some of our parks. We've kind of shifted the last maybe 8 years into incorporating walking paths into almost every park that we build. And if you remember a few years ago with the drought, we did these turf conversions where we converted from, we were trying to cut about 15% of our turf down, which we were successful doing. And along the margins of the turf, we started putting in walking paths, and they became really popular and they're really fun. And I know when my wife and I walk, typically we'd walk down the city streets with our dogs and then do a loop in a park and then go home. And so we've incorporated that kind of philosophy as we've been going. So in this presentation, we're going to hopefully see some of the easy ones, some of the more difficult ones, and anybody that's watching this can write down the addresses and go visit these different walking trails. It should be relatively informative and hopefully everybody's been to at least one of these. So I'm going to start my PowerPoint presentation, and I have not shared my screen ever before in a Zoom meeting, so this will be a thing for me. And so far, so good. Oh, we already just talked all about that. So anyway, so a little bit, this is some pictures of me as a ranger with Casca, a ranger in Malibu with my old owl. And you may have seen me at a Casca board meeting, and I love sunset. So I almost always have sunset pictures in my PowerPoints. And that's just a little quirk I have. One of my favorite things about building trail and my job is sharing with people. And luckily this last couple of years, I've been able to share it with my grandkids. Being able to take your grandkid on a trail that you built 25 years ago is pretty meaningful. It's really something to hold their hand and walk up something that you built. This is an overview map of what CRPD and Casca manage. The CRPD properties are the bright green colored blobs, and in the center is basically the library and the Canal Creek South soccer fields, and then you can kind of figure out where things are from that. We'll be looking at the open space, the darker green ones, in a little bit. This is Banyan Park, and Banyan Park was actually one of our very first parks that CRPD built itself. And it was such a large piece of property, and it's a neighborhood park. So we only really finished half of it up until about 4 years ago when we finished the other part. We've connected the two sections of the park with walking paths. And this is from the north side of the park looking south at Boney Mountain, one of my favorite views of all time. And the upper park is mostly turf with a path around it, and that's where the playground is. And as you come down into the other one, it's more naturalized, a lot of butterfly attractants. We consider it kind of like a little island. So animals that are coming from the Santa Monica Mountains have a little place to stop and maybe get some nectar or chew on some leaves before they work their way further north into the Wildwood area. That's a view of it pretty quick right after, that's right after it was built. And you can see all the little native plantings that are there in the mulch. And it's, you can see Canal Canyons there up in the background, which is attached to Wildwood. Lang Ranch Park was one of the first walking paths that we put in after the turf reductions. We planted a lot of trees there, and it was the first place that we put in what's called permeable paving. So the asphalt that's there, water percolates through it. And that way no water pools up and the moisture stays even. It's more critical to be using this in parking lots, but we've been pretty happy using it in the paths. It makes for a nice naturalized walking path, and it's held up relatively well. It's another view of the Lang Ranch Park walking path. A third one. It's not as exciting unless you're walking in it, really. North Ranch. This is one of the newer walking paths that we connected. The North Ranch Park had wall-to-wall turf, beautiful oak trees. And when we did the turf reduction, we were careful about where we put it and put the paths so they're not interfering with the oak trees. And it's become a very, very, very popular place to walk just because of the beauty of the trees and the amenities that are there. The playground's really fun. The kids can play and the adults can do a walk. There's actually a basketball court in the center of it. And the paths provide connectivity to the amenities like the basketball court. So kids can ride a bike there and then park their bike and play. But it's also, you can see the rollingness there. It's a great little path. And now Sapwi. Now Sapwi is one of the largest projects that I've done and helped with in my career here. And using my little arrow here, I don't know if you all can see it, but this is the neighborhood park here. And it has about a 3/4 of a mile walking path that goes around through the oak trees and around the playground and around some picnic areas. This is actually our yard where all of our maintenance happens. So we've got our trucks and such there, and the rangers are housed there. The neighborhood park has a small bicycle park, a little teeny disc golf course, one of the coolest playgrounds that we have. Very good themes with nature and enjoying the outdoors. And then an overview of the entire park. So the picture we just looked at is actually just this little section here, and the rest of Sapui is all of this. And it's about 200 acres. It has a glider, radio controlled glider spot that's run by the Thousand Oaks Soaring Society. If you have a free Sunday morning, they're out there flying almost every Sunday morning. They have 2 world champion glider pilots, RC glider pilots that are members of theirs, and I've met them. And it's that world-class stuff. When a world-class person is doing something, it is so far beyond anything else you've ever seen. So it's worth it. And a very, very large disc golf course, which is semi-pro, pro disc golf course, and then a wonderful bike jump park. We had a lot of demand for all 3 of those things, and this property provided for it. It's also the home of the Thousand Oaks cross country team. They've only had 2 meets there, but they love the course. It wipes out everybody else in the Miramonte League, so it's a good course. That's an overview. You can see the airplane area up here. The bike park is here, and the disc golf course goes all the way through it. And this is another opportunity to do an easy walk through the bottom of the park. This is just a canyon here, and you can get a mile each way, nice and smooth, or you can challenge yourself and do some of the cross-country course. The map is available online for the cross-country course, which is 3.1 miles. I have not run it, so I don't know what my time would even be on it, but back in the day, I would have really enjoyed that course. Another view of it, some more of the switchbacks. Another thing that we've been doing, this is a brand new path, workout area, and playground at Spring Meadow near CLU. And once again, the permeable paving. And then we put in these workout stations. The workout stations are the old classic wood ones, and just using your body as resistance and just doing pull-ups and things like that. That seems to be extremely popular. So we've committed to doing that. You'll see some other workout things that we've been working on. And it's a great place to hang out. The park has cornhole, 3 cornhole courts. So if you're looking for a place to have a family party and do a little cornhole competition with the family, that's a great spot. There's plenty of picnic tables, plenty of turf, and great playground. Another walking opportunity that we don't always think about is a labyrinth. Show of hands, has anybody ever done a labyrinth? Okay, I highly recommend doing labyrinths. This one is let's say this. Labyrinths are a meditative walk. And a real simple meditation is, as you enter it, you get rid of everything that's bothering you, you clear your brain in the center and just have a moment, take some breaths, and then walk out, and you're ready to face the day. And this labyrinth is almost a mile from the start all the way in and all the way back out. And I find it to be one of the most relaxing walks you can do, and it's super easy. This is at Orchard Park, way in the back. And along the way out there, if you park by the playground, you can do some of the workout things along the way, and then do the labyrinth, which is behind the workout equipment here. And so you get a physical workout, a nice walk, and a mental clearing. So labyrinths, and I think there's about 5 really good labyrinths in town, and I've done them in other countries. I've done labyrinths in other states, and whenever my wife and I are on a trip, we'll look up a labyrinth to do. That's just another one of our things. And this is the infamous Canal Creek bike path. It's the blue line running all the way from the top of Canal Creek North behind the library It goes down along Page Lane behind the school district offices, along the soccer fields, under the freeway, along Page Lane, and then ends at the terminus of Gainsborough. It's about 1.4 miles long, and it's always active. There's always people on it, lots of bikes, lots of walkers. And as a side note, we will be building a new park here, hopefully within the next 2 to 3 years at Canal Creek Southwest is what we call it, or Page Lane. And that's going to be a neighborhood park. I have a feeling it'll have some additional walking paths in it. And it's all planned out. We're just waiting for a little bit of more funding, and then we'll pull the trigger on getting that built. Okay, on to Casca. Now, the reason I'm talking about Casca is CRPD and the city of Thousand Oaks have a joint powers organization called Casca. 50% of it is funded by CRPD, 50% is funded by the city. The city handles the land management side of it, and I handle the maintenance, the rangers, the equipment, and trail design and stuff like that. So that is what I do there. It's the dark green spots there, and Wildwood is in the northern section, the top of it. This is the Wildwood area here. And then the Western Plateau here, Dos Vientos area, Los Robles Trail, and then the Lang Ranch area and Sunset Hills. So that's about 14,000 acres and about 115 miles of trail. Everything from basically a wheelchair accessible trail all the way up to super challenging to do the Los Robles Trail, which is 10.2 miles from here to Westlake. So all of those are fun. And just as a little trivia, when I was a ranger, it would take us about 3 months with a fair amount of work to see all of the trail. So we would see all of the trail maybe 2 to 3 times a year. It's an awful lot of trail to see. This is the Rangers recently working on a new reroute section of the Los Robles Trail. If you were to look at the Los Robles area where all the antennas are up on the mountain, this new 3/4 of a mile extension of that trail was just completed 3 weeks ago. And it turned out beautiful. Some amazing work by our rangers and a lot of volunteers. That the process from planning to actually opening took almost 2 years. We do a lot of research on figuring out where it can go on the computer. And then we crawl around in the bushes for weeks looking for if there's a cliff somewhere or some plant that we can't remove. We work on the alignment. We do some rough alignments, and we bring that back to the computer and see if it fits into the land that we own or that we have agreements for. And then we go back out and do the cutting and actual construction. We have some other trails that are much simpler. That's, of course, Tarantula Hill right there in the center. You know, that you wake up some mornings, you go, oh my gosh, it's foggy. Well, not above the clouds, it isn't. I would have loved to have walked up Tarantula Hill that morning out of the gloom and doom of the fog and just gotten to see the sunrise like that. Love that picture. Also, when you're hiking, when you're walking, feel free to leave no trace. Okay, so carry out whatever you can. These are my Casca equivalents on the city side. Brian Stark and Anna Huber. We were out looking at some trail in the burned area from the small fire we had a couple months ago, and picked up about a truck full of trash out of the area. So don't litter. That's the take-home point there. And like I said, I love sunsets, so I always finish my PowerPoints with a sunset. I like that one. So I'm available for questions if anybody needs to ask.
I think it's so inspiring to get out there and walk after you see a presentation like this, but also it makes me so grateful to live in a city that values land and values keeping it pristine. So Thank you for your work. And now I want to open it up to questions. So if anybody has a question, yes, Commissioner Byrd.
Matt, thank you so much for that great presentation. I do have a question about Sapwe Park. I happen to live very close to it as an example. And from what I understood, are the gates leading into the upper terrace closed at night? There are gates there with a lock. I always thought that those were locked, but for some reason I do see them open all the time now. Was that ever discussed or thought of or talked about?
The gates to the upper terrace, we've recently had some problems there with some vandals in the last couple of weeks, but typically it's supposed to be closed unless the guys are up there flying. So if you're seeing it open more than just while the airplane people are there, please give me a call and I'll try and figure out what's going on.
All right. What's the number to call, Matt?
805-495-6471.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yes, Commissioner Posta.
Could be unmuted. Yes, my wife and I do a lot of walking, and we're part of that older adult, generation. So we really can do really a lot of uphills and downhills, and we have so many trails here. Where we get that thing that comes every week. Some notice about, I don't know who sends that out, the parks or somebody that lists all these things, but we have trouble finding just, real level or semi-level things. Is there any list you could go to get those?
The Costco website has some links to some trail maps. There's a website called Ventura Trails that covers all of Ventura County and amazingly detailed stuff. And yeah, I mean, the joy of California is the mountains, and that means you don't necessarily have flat. So it is difficult. We do have one great trail that, like I said, is almost wheelchair accessible, and that's the Hill Canyon Trail. If you go down in the valley, and
Hill Canyon, huh?
Hill Canyon, and it's a mile through the bottom of the canyon. Absolutely spectacular mountains there. And Sapwe is pretty good too. If you park at the neighborhood park, you walk through the neighborhood park, and at the very end, it drops down crosses a bridge and then takes you up through the center of the park. And that's not.
Yeah, we just did that 2 weeks ago.
Good.
We tried to do it from the other way and do the upper, and we got up there and we looked down and said, no, we can't go down there. And so, but when we found out you could come on from Herbs Road, I guess it is. And it's a beautiful walk. It's not too bad. It's a little hilly. Chumash is really nice, and so is Lion Ranch.
Yep.
We've done that. And also the park system, the one behind the Global Center there is really nice, that park. And that's about a half a mile. So
Right.
Most of the local, they have another one right behind Vaughn's on Lion Ranch. There's a neighborhood park there that's really nice. So there are a lot of them, but not enough, I don't think, for us. But so many of them are beautiful. In fact, we've gone to Lizard Rock. We go in the back way, try to take that. There's some level trails back in through there.
Wow, good.
But, I'd like to just have that list of where we could just go directly to it, rather, because there's so many different trails, and you go there and you say, oh my God, I can't do that. So I think it would be very good for us, for we older, let's say adults. But thank you very much. It's been a very good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Posta. Commissioner Janelle.
Yeah, just curious if there are any more plans for bike paths other than Conejo Creek South.
The city has a bicycle person, a full-time person that works on bicycle paths, and they're working on a number of them. It's difficult once the streets are built to add on to them, and they're extremely expensive. The Conejo Creek South connector, I can't remember what the cost was on it, but it's almost as expensive as building a road. So, what they've been trying to do is squeeze things a little bit and add in bike paths or bike lanes on existing roads. And yeah, I'd love to see more bike paths, but that's on the city side. The city does that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Vice Chair Belding.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This really was enlightening and beautiful as well. We walk with the family and the dogs and things like that up on a park right above, it's right by Sunset Hills, and I don't even know what the name of it is because where we enter from where we live, we don't go anywhere near where the signs are to get into the park. But I particularly like that it has the most incredibly, John, you would appreciate this, especially Commissioner Posta, that it is a mostly very nice level, very gentle sloping walking trail. But when you put in the exercise equipment and things like that that were there, that was the first time I ever saw that in a park. And everybody loves that, the whole family, the adults, the children, and they all, get such great pleasure out of that. And when you redid all of the plant life all around it, something else I had never seen is it gets watered from underneath. I don't really understand how that can even happen. There's no sprinkler, there's no pipe. I mean, it's crazy. You can walk all the time without getting sprayed on, but how do they do that?
Where is that located, Stephanie?
It's
Where?
above, it's right off of Sunset Hills, it's above Herbs and below Sunset Hills Boulevard, right in between there.
Okay.
Is that
Yes.
Northwood Park that you're talking about?
Yeah, is it called Northwood Park? I
I
believe
believe
it
so.
is.
It's up on a hill and it's got a great sunset spot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's probably called
Northwood.
Northwood Park.
Northwood Hills. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Northwood Park.
Northwood Park.
Northwood Park. Okay.
Yeah, Northwood. I think you would like that one. It is really good as a person who is not a teenager anymore. I can walk it 4 or 5 times around and still be okay.
Quit
Thank you,
bragging.
Thank you, Commissioner Belding. Commissioner Williams.
Yeah, we are so privileged, Matt, to be here. Sorry about that. Sorry, I can't turn it off. It'll stop in another two rings. As a member of the Audubon Society, I'm very interested in native habitation, and I'm so pleased that our city has decided to go ahead and get as much native plants as possible in the gardens, because that's what we need in this area for the birds especially, and also for the other animals. And that's beautiful. What are you doing about the people who are complaining about the parking around their houses?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Referring to people who don't want the walkers to park in front of their houses because they feel that that's imposing on their territory.
We have a variety of levels of parks. We have neighborhood parks, which are made for neighborhoods, and they don't have parking spots around them. They don't have a parking lot. They're specifically for the neighborhood. We also have community parks like the ones with the centers and things like that, and then sports parks. I think what you might be referring to is 2 things. A, the neighborhood parks that don't have a parking lot and people just park on the street around them. And that it's a public street, so they are allowed to park.
Right.
So some of our larger open space areas have been attracting people, like in the Lang Ranch area. That's one that gets a lot, is on the street out in front of the trailhead there. Originally, 25 years ago, there may have been 5 or 6 cars there on an evening, but now there's 25 cars. So what we've been trying to do is push as best we can the parkers to other parts of the neighborhood where it's not affecting people, but it's really difficult. It is a public street. I know when I bought my house, I spent a lot of time there before escrow closed to make sure that I knew what was going on in the neighborhood. And I think that's important, especially if you're near a park, know what's going on.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Commissioner Sylvester.
I'm just curious, what were some of the challenges you faced during the past 14 months of COVID?
I think the biggest thing was that the parks and trails were open. even though there wasn't organized sports, we became the gyms. We became the place where two people could come and talk. We became the place where two families could come and sit far apart and talk. My staff, our jobs didn't change. The guys and gals that work for us were out there doing it. They were emptying trash cans and cleaning bathrooms and wiping down tables and playgrounds and trying to be nimble enough to adjust to whatever was happening or whatever was being told to them. So I just to brag, I'm amazed at our staff and how well they did up through all this to be able to just turn on a dime and be able to open up a playground after it's been closed for 2 weeks, to scrub it down and then all of a sudden accommodate people. Amazing. So that's my perspective on it.
And I think the community really appreciates that and has appreciated it. So thank you for all of that hard work and a little bit of normalcy during that time.
Yes, exactly.
And any other questions? Well, I have a few. My first one to you is thank you for Sapwood, because that's very close to where I live. And it was so abandoned for so long, because I was one of, I remember when Lang Ranch was proposed, and then Signature Homes, and then I think another development. And there was a lot of question about, well, it was going to turn into some sort of a baseball field, or there was like a lot of different ideas that neighbors were talking about, but it has really revitalized the neighborhood. I see more people walking from my neighborhood over there than from there, going to the shopping center and grabbing a cappuccino, or going to Starbucks. So I think that that's really, an important idea for the city, that just adding one, element can really get people walking and get people out of their homes. So I really want to thank you for that. And I don't know if you were responsible for revitalizing the Oak Brook Park, but I have, at the time, 20 years ago, I had a toddler who I was trying to potty train, and there was no bathroom there. So I want to thank whoever it was that now has a bathroom there, because that is so important to some of our neighborhood parks. But aside from that, I wanted to ask you, which of all the trails, which one is your favorite that you would suggest for people to go out and try if they haven't?
Oh, that's a great question. And thank you for the compliments on the other parks. I'll pass those on to the people that need to know it as well. I do like Chumash Trail, but one of my very favorites is the Los Padres Trail. So if you go on Moore Park south of the freeway, there's a street, make a left on, called Los Padres, and you park there. There's a step over, and that it can go as long as you want, because it connects to the Los Robles Trail, but through the oak trees, and you come out of the oak trees, and you've got a wonderful walk up to a big flat area, and then you go west and you get to what we call the top of the Lily Tomlin Trail. And to explain that name would take a half hour, but the view from there is spectacular. And then you go down the Lily Tomlin Trail, and it brings you back out to Los Padres. So that's probably my favorite.
Okay, I'm going to try that. And I didn't know we had a labyrinth, and I'm going to definitely do that, because I've done labyrinths before. The only one that I thought was available was the one at St. Max off of Canaan. So I've done that one. But yeah, I so appreciate all of this information. Oh, one more question that I had for you.
Uh-huh.
What is the city going to be, because we're entering into a drought from what I understand. What do you guys do for fire abatement?
Okay, just clarification. I'm not with the city. CRPD is
right.
a organization. We do work with the city and COSCA on the weed abatement program in the city. And we do, per the fire department's requirements, we do 100-foot clearance from structure throughout all the properties that we manage. And the crews are just finishing that up this week. So they're going back and doing the little cleanups here and there, spots they missed, but they're about 90% done right now. And that's what we're required to do by the fire department. And it's, so no home has been lost to radiant heat or direct flames from a brush fire in Thousand Oaks. Okay, so
That's good to know.
100-foot clearance works.
Any other questions by any of the other commissioners? Thank you so much, Matt. I've learned so much. This is outstanding. I hope that with the summer months coming and the sunshine and the pandemic curtailed, that more people will take advantage of what the city has to offer. So thank you again.
Sure.
Bravo.
And it's enjoy being here. Thank you all so much.
Yes.
Okay.
And we will definitely have you come back.
Okay. Got lots of topics I can talk about.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
All right. Y'all be good. Bye.
Bye. And we're going to move on to item 6, which is our liaison reports. So at this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Belding. Take it away, Stephanie.
Thank you, Chair Guerra. Item 6 is liaison and agency reports. And besides advising City Council on items related to older adults in the community, the commission also serves as a liaison to various agencies throughout the community that serve our senior population. And I will call on several today. Item A is the Global Adult Community Center. And with us today is Patty Ham, who always has multitudinous fabulous things to tell us about for the GACC. Go, Patty.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. I have some fantastic news. I will start off with. The Global Center will be reopening for the public on Monday, June 28th. We don't know what, the physical distance or mask requirements will be then. We're assuming that June 15th, with the guidelines that the state has given us, that the county will follow, but we don't know. We won't know until the county comes out with guidelines. So we're going forward and opening up. And if we have to, by then, at the end of the month, if we have to wear masks and we have to still physical distance, then we will. We just want to get our seniors back in the building, being active and being happy again. So we want to get them away from staying at home all day and get back in here because we miss them. We miss our seniors terribly. It's been a long 15 months. Something we could have never imagined or thought about would happen. We usually have a water exercise program, a free water exercise program. I don't know if any of you have ever taken advantage of that, but we offer a 10-week session in the summer, and we utilize the Newbury Park High School pool and the Thousand Oaks High School pool. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are usually at Thousand Oaks High School from 12 to 1, and we're at Newbury Park High School from 12 to 1 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are still waiting on the county to give us, or not to give us, but to give the aquatics any new guidelines for us to proceed to offer that free water aerobics class this summer. As it stands now, it would have to be limited to 10 people per class, and we usually have 20 plus seniors in the pool. So we're waiting to see if hopefully guidelines will get lifted or they'll get better so that we can have our class like we normally used to have it pre-pandemic days. So if you're waiting to hear on that, we're hoping that by June 17th, we'll have an answer for you on what we're going to be doing with that program. Some exciting news. Since we're returning on June 28th, our bingo will be starting on June 29th. And it will resume the normal Tuesday, Friday, Saturday games that start at 1 o'clock. And if you have any more info on that, you can call us here at the center, 381-2744. Both our bingo volunteers, commissioners, and the bingo players are so excited that bingo's coming back on the 29th. I'd say out of all the seniors that called, the hundreds and hundreds of seniors that called throughout this last 15 months, the majority of them were bingo players asking when we were going to be able to open for bingo again. So they're going to be very, very excited, and we're excited to have them back. Our ballroom program that we usually have the first and third Saturday of every month in the evening is going to resume in July on the third Saturday, and that's going to be July 17th. So our ballroom dancers are very excited. They're the next group that's been calling and asking when we're going to be able to dance again. And they're very excited. And the doors open at 6, and it's $10 per person. And if you want more info about that, you can give us a call here at the center. Our July newsletter will have more information on all of that. We're happy to report also that we're going to bring back our famous Take Me Out to the Ball game in July. I don't know if any of you have come to those. We watch the Dodger game. We're going to watch the Dodger game on the big screen in our main hall. And you don't have to drive all the way to Dodger Stadium to enjoy the game. You'll sit there with your Dodger fans, mostly Dodger fans. And we serve Dodger dogs and Cracker Jacks and peanuts and popcorn. And we sing the baseball song in the 7th inning, and we have a great time. It's a really fun program. So we're excited to bring that back. We still are going to have a handful of Zoom classes that we'll be offering still for the seniors that don't feel comfortable coming back to the center. And we are working with some of our instructors to do a, let me see, I lost the word, both Zoom and in person together. So they'll have the in-person class. Go ahead, say it, Karen, say it. I know you know it.
Hybrid.
Thank you. We're going to try some hybrid classes where the teachers will be here in person for those who feel comfortable. And then those who still don't feel comfortable coming back yet, they want to do a Zoom in class, so that the hybrid experience. So we're excited about that. We do have a couple programs that we are offering in June besides the ones that I mentioned, which isn't much because we only have a couple days in June since we're going to be open. So these will still be on Zoom, but we have Connectivity at Home on June 17th. And that's where seniors can learn about canceling their landline and using their cell phone if they're interested in doing that. And what are the benefits of doing that? Henry Chan will be chatting with our seniors on that. We have June 24th, we have a couple. Comfort Keepers are going to be on the Zoom, and they're going to let you know that they're going to be hiring, and they're actually looking at rehiring retirees and homemakers to be caregivers. So if anyone's looking for extra money, they can give you the info on that on June 24th from 11 to 11:30. They will be on Zoom, and you can go ahead and just register by calling us here at the center. Adventures in Volunteering, Kiwanis, Rotary, AAUW. The Global Center houses its own very large CSVP Conejo Senior Volunteer Program with over between 800 to 1,000 volunteers, senior volunteers that give thousands and thousands of hours a year out in the community. Annette Brosma is going to give a Zoom talk about volunteering and what opportunities there are out in the community, especially during the pandemic and post-pandemic times. That'll be Thursday, June 24th, 1 to 2. And you can call the center and we will get you on our Zoom roster. I think that's about it for today to give you that exciting news. We'll have more exciting news in July as we'll be able to offer more programming. But the big news of the day is June 28th. We will be open, and we are planning that each day that week, Monday through Friday, we're going to do something special each day to celebrate that week, sort of a grand reopening of sorts. Like, one day we're going to do succulent terrariums, so everybody that comes and joins us can make a beautiful succulent terrarium. We're going to do I think on Friday we're going to do some kind of 4th of July takeaway where they can make and take something for the 4th of July flag or something. But we're going to do something like that every day to make it special and that we're thankful that they're back. And that's it.
Thank you.
So Patty, when are you going to have a Texas Hold'em tournament?
I don't know. When you decide that you want to help us run one, usually Texas Hold'em, groups like at the high schools, the clubs, they like to rent CRPD centers and have Texas Hold'em tournaments, or at least they did many years back. I don't know if they do anymore, but
as long as money is not involved, I think it could be a really fun thing to do. I like that idea.
I'll have to do some research on Texas Hold'em.
I am most thankful to be able that you are opening again, because I miss you guys so much. I'm so glad you're opening again.
Yay, I know, we miss you guys too. We're tired. I'm sorry, we've enjoyed it and we're so thankful that it's available, but we're tired of Zoom. We want to see you in person.
Yeah, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I already have seniors who are telling me, when I see you that week, I want to give you a hug. Is that okay?
Good question. You should wear a little sign. It's okay to hug or not, whatever you decide. Well, thank you again. And item B today is the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program, speaking of which, Patty. And Commissioner Williams is our liaison to the CSVP. And will you give an update report for us, Commissioner Williams?
I will, yes. Julie is taking a much needed rest right now. I think she's in Palm Springs or somewhere like that, and she certainly deserves it, having worked so hard, especially with the tax preparation program this year. We were one of the only areas that did this, and I know that it was very, very, very busy and very successful. So if you still need income tax preparation assistance, it's offering tax preparation assistance on the first Wednesdays, July through October, for seniors age 60 and on any income level, or persons with an income of 56,000 or less of any age. So call the CSVP office to make an appointment for that. I think they're going to continue to be busy. I'm sure you've all visited the boutique in the CSVP, and it's been closed, and they've been very sad about this, but they're looking forward to reopening this summer, and they're excited to invite patrons back for some great cards, jewelry, handmade items, and more. And I don't know if you know that the Thousand Oaks Library Foundation has closed their shop, and they donated all their, whatever they had, to the boutique at the Goebel Center. Excuse me. So they're going to help with fundraising efforts, and it's greatly appreciated that they're doing this. It will be open Monday through Friday from 9 to 4, and they'll announce the date. It's not exactly sure yet when they will be open. They have to get it up and running. And if you have some time and you like breakfast, join the CSVP team in the Goebel Cafe. Work side by side with Victor, who's the chef, in helping to take orders, serve breakfast and coffee to our seniors, and meet the other people who come there to eat. This opportunity is from 8:45 to 11 a.m. And the day is to be decided. That's whenever you can do it. This program will hopefully be opening in the late summer. So it isn't open yet. So you can't go have your breakfast there yet. But that too has to be up and running. And there's a lot of cleanup to do, I'm sure. So if you enjoy food and chatter, this could be a good job for you when it opens. If you have any questions about that, call the CSVP at 381-3742 or jspivak@crpd.org. So those are the only things that Julie had that she wanted us to know about this time. But I'm sure as the Global Center opens that it'll get up and running very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. We just don't know when that will be opening yet. That's what you said, right? And we won't know what the cost will be either. I know previously there was a cost factor, but I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a very minimum amount, but
Yeah,
this
it is
isn't,
very
this is actually for people to volunteer and work there.
Oh,
So,
I see. Okay, so they are
This
looking for
isn't-
people to help the chef and the crew. Oh,
yes, yes.
so much. I'm glad you clarified that for me. I wasn't getting it.
Steph, the breakfasts have been traditionally $5 and under is what the cost of breakfast usually is.
That's
Very
fantastic.
reasonable. And
Yeah.
they're really
We
good
might raise
breakfast.
prices a little bit just because food prices are totally going up. We're seeing it already with ordering food. So we might have to raise it just a little bit, but it's still, I mean, comparable to the outside world. I think we're very reasonable
Oh, yeah.
with
Oh,
what we give you. So,
And it's very nutritious, variable kind of meal too.
well, that's for the breakfast. The breakfast is nutritious, but the really nutritious part is the senior nutrition program. That's $3 donation. So no senior will be turned away for inability to pay or for refusal. So the senior nutrition program is $3
That is
donation.
Thank you both. Thank you very much. Right, and item C, the Ventura County Area Association on Aging. That report will be moved and it will be presented at a future meeting. So I will turn the meeting back over to Chair Guerra.
You're
Can
muted.
unmute.
Sorry about that. So item 7 is commission reports. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Williams regarding Senior of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you. You're seeing a lot of me today, but it seems to work that way sometimes. Some people ask me, what do you do on the Commission on Aging? I say, oh, it's a piece of cake. No work at all, but that's not quite true. And we've been very excited about the Senior of the Year program this year. And the most exciting thing is that we're going to be having it in person this year. And it's going to be at the Sherd Auditorium on the 18th of June. And at that time, we're going to be recognize the seniors who have been nominated. And at this time, I'd like to tell you who they are. Frank Bellinger has nominated Roger Benson. Julie Comfort nominated Catherine Goodspeed. Julie Spivak nominated Ashraf Khan. Andrea Gallagher for seniors from Senior Concern nominated Patricia Jones. And Jean Murphy nominated Edna Murphy. Each one of these people is an outstanding volunteer, and it was so difficult for us to decide which one was going to be Senior of the Year because they're all amazing people. But we have voted for one of them, and we will be announcing that at our meeting, the meeting that I was telling you about that will be at the Sherd Auditorium at 1 o'clock on the 18th of June. And that will be so much better than having it on Zoom. I'm sure you all agree with that wholeheartedly. So we're very excited about that. So we'll see you all there, and we'll see all these wonderful people, and we will make the announcement as to who we had a great deal of trouble deciding who will be the senior of the year, but we did. So we'll see you all then. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. And we are all looking forward to honoring that special person. So on to item 8, which is commissioner comments. This is the portion of our meeting where commissioners can provide announcements in which no action or discussion will be taken. At this time, are there any commissioner comments? Yes, Commissioner Burt.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't this the first day that Ventura County is in the yellow tier?
Yes,
Does that sound right?
I believe so.
Wow. As they say, we've come a long way.
Yes, hallelujah.
Great news.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Burt. Yes, Commissioner Belding, Vice Chair Belding.
Hold on, let me unmute myself. You know, it is the end of the year for us, for the Council on Aging. And I would like to acknowledge a couple of people that will be leaving, but especially I'd like to speak to Commissioner Burt, who just spoke, and Commissioner Posta. Commissioner Burt, I know that he's been with the Council on Aging for 4 years, and he's burying his head. Afraid of what might come forward. But really, we just appreciate you so much and have benefited so much from your intelligence and your calm demeanor always, and your dedication to the commission, and that you've come to every event and every meeting and been involved with the frauds and scams, so important for the older adults in the community, and with the discounts, senior discounts. And I know, speaking for myself, that Commissioner Burt came with me to presentations so that he could get the word out. He was also the chair of the Senior of the Year committee as well, and spent a great deal of effort going around and around to get people involved in that. And so I just want to thank you for being such a great role model and mentor, and wish you fabulous in whatever your next part of your journey is going to be. And really just quick, don't want to step on any toes, but for John, I'm hoping that as I'm now assigned to be your successor for the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging, that I hope I do it with the aplomb and the humor and the dedication that you applied to that as we move forward.
Well, thank you very much, Stephanie. I do appreciate that. And I hate to be leaving this group because I love you all so much. But after 4 years, I guess it's time to move on to some new endeavors. I'll find some else place to tell my jokes and to have some fun and to actually do something worthwhile, hopefully. And I can't hug you all, but I'll blow you a big kiss. How's about that? Huh? That's to all of you and all the people watching, you know. I will see you, and I'll drop in from now and then because you are on TV, and so I'll drop in and make sure that you're doing a good job. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Burt.
Again, Stephanie, thank you for all of the things that you said. Sometimes you don't realize what's gone on over a period of time. I'd like to say that I will come back and say hi, but we're moving. We're moving to near San Clemente
Wow.
months. So that's a big deal. I've been involved in selling our house here and moving and buying a house down there. So it's been an interesting kind of last few months for me and my wife. So, but I've really enjoyed the council over the 4 years. I can't believe it has been 4 years. So many things have gone on. So I will miss you. I'll miss you all. I will especially miss you, Stephanie, and your bright smile and warmth and compassion that you have, and your energy will certainly be missed by me. So thank you.
Anyone else have comments? I wanted to also say thank you, Commissioner Byrd and Commissioner Posta, not just for what you've done, but also for your leadership. When I came on, both of you were, kind of helping me through the process. And what I will miss is both of you have such wonderful sense of humor. And when we were meeting personally, I think that that's what I really missed during Zoom, that we didn't get a chance to kind of visit the humor that you both bring to the council and your support. So sometimes we were trying to get certain projects done, and I really, really appreciated the support and just your wisdom and your commitment to older adults here in our community and in Ventura County. So thank you so much. And I hope that you guys do come back and just pop in and bring some jokes, please. We need them.
I got a lot I haven't told you. And at your age, I'm sure you forgot a lot of them, so I'll just repeat them.
Oh, yes, definitely. So
Thank you very much, Rosemary.
So
Rosanna.
It's okay. I know what you meant. So I wanted to move on to item 9 on our agenda. So before I adjourn our meeting, I have a few reminders. So oh, wait a minute. So I can't go over the reminders, but I just wanted to let everyone know that Senior Concerns has a bargain boutique, and they are available now from, I believe, 10 to 3. And let me get that just a second. I'm sorry about this. They're available Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 3 p.m. The important part.
You should be able to share now.
Okay, thank you, Francine.
You're welcome.
Okay, so just a moment as I reorient myself. So I still want to kind of remind, if there is anybody out there that hasn't gotten their vaccine, it's open now to 12 and older. And at the latest meeting with the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging, the age group from 65 and older, almost 85% of us in that age group are completely vaccinated. So really amazing, amazing work. But if you do find that you need to make an appointment, here's a phone number, and VC AAA will be able to provide you with a ride. And here's the phone number, 805-477-7300. And as I was mentioning before, Senior Concerns Bargain Boutique is now open for in-person shopping. The important part about this is that Senior Concerns, 100% of their sales from the Bargain Boutique directly supports the Vital programs. So it helps with their Meals on Wheels, their senior advocacy, their caregiver support center, their pantry, all of the wonderful work. And they sure did a lot of wonderful work for us during the pandemic. So if you're interested, they have some wonderful summer items, household decor, linens, gifts, toys, and jewelry. So please feel free to stop by. Also, if you need any referrals, the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging has a website as well as a call center that's available with trained specialists. You can call them Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 at 805-477-7300. Or if you'd like, you can call 211 Ventura County. 211 Ventura County is available 24/7. A really easy number to remember, it's 211. They also offer text. Just put in your zip code to 898-211. And that is also available 24/7. Now, if you want to reach us, which we hope that you do, call us at 805-381-7362, or you can email us at councilonaging@toaks.org. We also have a website available. Please check us out at www.toaks.org/seniors. We're also available on social media, so we hope that you look us up at the Thousand Oaks Council on Aging on either Facebook and Twitter. Please like us or follow us. And I believe that's it. So just a second. And there being no further business to come before the commission, the Council on Aging meeting is adjourned to our next regular meeting, which will be, I believe, in September. So have a wonderful and safe summer, everyone, and really enjoy those trails. Thank you so much.